Geothermal is a clean, natural and sustainable energy source. It's available 24 hours a day, whatever the weather, and has a very small surface footprint. It can support the electricity grid with dispatchable power and provide decarbonised heat. Eden Geothermal plans to harness the heat beneath the Eden project in 2 phases. Phase 1 will provide renewable heat for the Eden project from a single deep well. Phase 2 involves drilling a second deep well and establishing water circulation between the 2 wells using the natural fractures in the rock. The hot rock deep underground will act as a giant heat exchanger, delivering superheated water to surface, where it can be used to generate electricity and supply heat. The 2 well system will produce enough electricity to supply up to 7,000 homes, plus enough heat and electricity to meet all of Eden's needs, meaning the Eden project can become better than carbon neutral. Because existing natural fractures are used for circulation, there's no need to create new fractures in the rock. But even low pressure injection, production and circulation can cause small adjustments along the fractures in the rock and result in what's called induced seismicity. This is most likely to happen during well testing and treatment, a short-term phase very early in the operational life of the system. Analysing the events is useful because it helps us to understand where the water is flowing through the fractures. An induced seismic event is the same as a micro-earthquake, but in most cases the energy released is so small that it cannot be felt at the surface. Cornwall sometimes has natural earthquakes that are large enough to be felt. The most recent was a magnitude 2.3 event near Helston in 2019. The typical event that might be associated with the Eden Geothermal project, between magnitude 1 and 0, is between 20 and 200 times smaller than the one beneath Helston. Occasionally, an induced event may be large enough to be heard or felt by people close to the source, but the risk of an induced seismic event causing any damage is extremely low. Nevertheless, Eden Geothermal is committed to developing the geothermal resources at Eden with the support of the local community. Addressing any public concerns over induced seismicity is therefore a high priority. We've taken steps to ensure our operations don't cause any disturbance or annoyance. We have installed a network of seismic monitoring stations in the surrounding area to monitor any natural or induced seismicity. The system can automatically detect and locate seismic events as small as magnitude 0 at a depth of 5 kilometres. We operate seismicity management procedures to control induced seismicity that might cause disturbance to residents close to the site. Monitoring and control is based on surface measurements of ground vibration called peak ground velocity. This method is used in the control of vibrations from mining and quarrying and is recommended in Cornwall Council's renewable energy planning guidance. Vibration level limits defined in British standards are used to control site operations, ranging from 0.5 mm per second to 8.5 mm per second. Cosmetic damage to buildings could occur if levels reach 15 mm per second, so our limits are very safe. These procedures have been in place since the first stages of the project, through drilling, testing and development, and will carry on through the long-term operation of the system. Harnessing the geothermal resources beneath the Eden site offers the exciting prospect of eliminating the carbon footprint of the Eden project itself, feeding continuous renewable power to the grid and supplying decarbonised heat to the local community. By unlocking natural geothermal energy, we are paving the way for a more sustainable future.